What's up, world travelers? Welcome to another video by Goats on the Road. In this week's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of French food. My mouth is already watering. I'm really excited to share with you the top 10 must-try meals in Paris, France. We just returned from nearly a week in Paris, and as foodies, we were both blown away by the food scene there. Of course, French cuisine is one of the most developed cuisines in the world, with many of their recipes being around for centuries, so it was no surprise that the food there was incredible. From savory stews and sumptuous cheeses to flaky pastries and phenomenal wines, this is the perfect country to come to treat your taste buds. While we were in Paris, we met up with a famous chef for a private dinner. We learned about cheeses and wines from professional wine tasters, and we sampled pretty much every French dish we could get our hands on in the short period of time that we were in the city. When it comes to cities with the most Michelin-starred restaurants in the world, Paris comes second only to Tokyo. And there's just incredible food on pretty much every corner in the City of Lights. So with that, let's get started. Here it goes, my list of the top 10 must-try dishes in Paris, France. So number one on this list has to be escargot. I actually got into escargot the first time that we went to Morocco way back in 2011, and I had it on the street there, and it was in a pepper broth, and I really loved it. And it was surprising because I didn't think I would enjoy eating snails, but escargot is delicious, and Paris just takes the dish to the next level. Since my first experience in Morocco, I've tried to sample this strange but tasty dish everywhere that we can get it, so of course I wasn't going to miss my chance to try it in the country where it was born, France. There are plenty of places to try escargot, and they prepare it in many different ways, but my favorite one was the one that I had at Constant Cafe, which is actually a great little restaurant to go for dinner in the 7th arrondissement. Okay, and that brings me to number 2 on this list of must-try foods in Paris, and that is pastry. From profiteroles and macaroons to croissants and quiches, you can get so many incredible pastries in Paris. Walking down the streets of the city, you'll smell bread and pastry baking on many of the street corners, and I almost guarantee that you won't be able to resist tucking into one of the boulangeries to grab a bite. We started every one of our mornings in Paris with a delicious croissant or pain au chocolat. Then for lunch, sometimes we pick up a crepe, and for dessert, there's always something delicious like profiteroles on the menu. If you're heading to Paris, then prepare yourself for some incredible pastries and desserts. The French just do them better than most other countries in the world. Now it's time for number 3 on this list. I'm talking about cheese and wine. If you've been following our blog or watching this YouTube channel for a while, you'll know that Doris and I absolutely love wine and cheese. We're self-proclaimed winos, and we try to sample as many different reds in every country that we visit. French wine is fantastic, and there are even great table wines at many of their restaurants. If you're a cheese and wine lover like us, I recommend checking out the food and wine tasting tour in an old wine cave. This is an Airbnb experience set in a cave at the basement of one of the oldest buildings in Paris. It's not pretentious or anything, so you basically just sit around sampling some delicious regional French wines and cheeses. Highly recommended. And that brings us to number 4 on this list of the best meals to try in Paris, and it's beef bourguignon. This hearty beef stew should be on every omnivore's list of things to try while they're traveling around Paris. Boeuf à la Bourguignon is a beef stew braised in red wine, often red burgundy, and beef stock, and it's generally flavored with carrots, onion, garlic, and garnished with pearl onions, mushrooms, and bacon. Doris ordered this dish while we were sitting down for lunch at a restaurant in Paris, and I just couldn't stop eating it. I kept on reaching across the table and taking out of her dish because it was so delicious. So if you're in Paris, don't miss trying a beef bourguignon. Now it's time for number 5, and that is crepes. You'll find crepes on pretty much every corner throughout the city, especially if you're walking around the touristy spots like the 1st and 4th arrondissements. The crepe is one of those iconic dishes that you really can't miss while visiting Paris. We actually tried just one on the street, and we weren't too impressed with it, but apparently Coffee Crepes is a super popular spot to get crepes in the heart of the 1st arrondissement. You really don't have to look hard to find delicious crepes in the city. You'll be walking down the street and you'll see street vendors always pretty much on every corner selling them. So you can either just walk into one of those and follow your nose, or you can choose one of the popular spots like Coffee Crepes from online lists and Google Maps. And that brings us to number 6 on this list of must-try foods in Paris, and it is falafel. I know it's a little bit controversial to list a falafel on a video that's listing all the best French food, and while this delicious vegetarian wrap may have originated in Egypt more than 1,000 years ago, a lot of people say that the best falafels on earth are found in Paris. There's actually an entire street dedicated to this Middle Eastern specialty. We were on our way to one of the most famous falafel restaurants in Paris called L'Os du Falafel in the 3rd arrondissement when we were distracted by a big sign that said best falafel in the world. The restaurant was Chez Hannah, and we actually ended up getting a delicious falafel there, and we didn't have to wait in the ridiculously long lineup at the more popular L'Os du Falafel. If you want to get a delicious falafel in Paris, head to Rue de Rossier on the 3rd arrondissement and you'll find this street just lined with Middle Eastern restaurants serving this delicious dish. Alright, and now it's time for number 7 on this list, and it is duck confit. The duck confit that I had while we were in Paris wasn't just one of the best meals that I tried in France, it's actually one of the best dishes I've ever had. Traditionally, to make duck confit, all of the pieces of the duck are used to produce the meal. The end result is a juicy duck with a crispy outer layer, usually served with shaved potato fries and a bitter leaf salad. If you're looking for a delicious duck confit in Paris, head to Bistro Victoires in the 2nd arrondissement, just a couple of blocks north of the Louvre Museum. Now it's time for number 8 on this list of must-try foods in Paris, and it is just simply market food. The French still rely heavily on fresh, regional, and seasonal produce to create their most infamous dishes. One of the largest and liveliest markets in the city of Paris is Marché Bastille. Only open on Sundays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., this open-air market is the perfect place to head for lunch and some snacks. From delicious baguettes, breads, and cheeses to full meals like stews, salads, and croque-monsieurs, you'll find it all at this incredible open-air market in Paris. Next up on this list is number 9, and it is French onion soup. This is one of those dishes that Doris told herself she just has to try while she's in France, and we were both really surprised at just how delicious a true French onion soup can be. French onion soup is usually based on a meat stock and onions and often served gratinade with croutons and cheese on top of a large piece of bread placed on top of the soup. There's a great little restaurant in the 5th arrondissement near the Pantheon called Le Coupe de Torchon that does an excellent French onion soup. Trust me, even if you're not a big soup lover, you should definitely try French onion soup while you're in Paris. And last but definitely not least on this list of must-try meals in Paris is steak and fries. By ordering this dish in Paris, you can actually tick 2 things off your list of must-try meals in the city, because of course while you're in France you're going to want to try French fries, and pairing them with a steak makes one of the best dishes in France. Known as steak frites in Paris, the steak and fries is a Parisian staple. While we in North America and many other parts of the world prefer to grill our steaks, typically in Paris, steak frites is pan-fried rare in a reduction sauce, sometimes with hollandaise or béarnaise. A lot of people around the world claim that they have the best steaks just grilled up on their backyard barbecue, but no matter what, when you go to Paris, you should try the way that they do these pan-fried steaks. Have them with fries, they're absolutely delicious. All right, that's it. That's the end of our list of the top 10 must-try meals in Paris, France. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification button so you'll be notified next time we make a video. If you want to add to this list, go ahead and comment down below. I'm sure we missed some amazing French meals, but if you comment down below, maybe we'll add them to the next video. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy travels. Later. Top 10 must-try dishes to try. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up.